In a lot of jobs, people, they handle cash or they work in stores or warehouses, full of merchandise. And sad to say, stealing on the job is pretty common, but it's also pretty wrong if you ask me. But part of being honest, on the job is not stealing, but that is only part of it. I've also learned, so many things. To be honest, when you make a mistake, some people try to hide their mistakes that they make on the job because, they're afraid that they're going to get in trouble. I know Mr. Ross, my supervisor, he appreciates it when I tell him, about my mistakes. And, that way we can just fix them quickly and I can learn how to avoid those same mistakes the next time. And, I still make mistakes around here, believe me. But I'm still learning, and it's human to make mistakes. But if you point them out, people really will respect your honesty. And, it's true because I know from experience. Here's something else that I've learned from experience. Honesty also means, doing an honest day's work. Listen, I've been here long enough to know when there's a supervisor around and when there's not. I have plenty of times to goof off each day, but, to tell you the truth, I don't really want to. I want to get the work done because it's my work, so I work hard, even when there's no one around. That old saying, an honest day's work for an honest day's pay. Well, that's actually my motto at work, and people do notice. In fact, I've gotten 2 performance raises since I've been here. And sure, honesty means you don't steal stuff, but that's just plain common sense. But for real job success, you also have to be honest in the work that you do. And that does mean admitting mistakes on the job and giving an honest day's effort each and every day. And listen, I can tell you from personal experience that honesty is the key to my job success and your job success too.
Christina's learned a lot about job success in 3 years, and she couldn't be more right about honesty in the workplace. Of course, honesty means never stealing from an employer, but it's also important to be honest in the work you do. Admit mistakes and learn from them so they don't happen again. That's honesty at work. So is giving a good day's work for your paycheck. There's always something to do on the job, so pitch in, work hard, and give them what you're getting paid for. A job well done. Now, employers have other expectations of the people they hire. Check out Clay's story and learn how being a team player is another key to workplace success.
My name is Clay, and I'm an auto mechanic. I went to tech school when I graduated from high school, and this is my first real job. I mowed lawns in the summer for a while and did some landscaping, but this is what I call my first real job, and I'm learning more about it every day. I like it, so I try to do a good job every day. I'd say the biggest thing I've learned around here is that I'm part of a team and other people depend on me and the work I do. Let me tell you, there are mornings when I don't want to get out of bed, but I have to. A lot of people are counting on me. That means I have to be dependable. My supervisor's name is Mr. Franklin, a strong believer in the idea of teamwork. You have to be around here because no one person could do what we do. It takes planning, scheduling, and a real team effort to work on the number of cars we do each day. So what does it mean to be a team player? Well, first off, it means doing whatever job needs doing, even if it isn't your job. I was hired as a mechanic, but Mr. Franklin has me doing all kinds of stuff. Stuff I'd rather not have to do, to be completely honest. But it's stuff that has to be done. So as a member of the team, I do it. Another thing about being a team member on the job, the work I do fits in with the work other people do. For example, let's say I don't show up for work one day. Well, that means the rest of the crew, they have to pick up the slack. My work fits in with the work of everyone else around here, so if I'm slow getting the job finished, I can slow up everyone else on the floor. Oh, there's one other thing about being a team player. You've got to get along with the other members of the team. You know, the people who work with you, and not just the bosses and supervisors either. I'm talking about getting along with everybody. That means showing respect to the people who work alongside of you. I know that some days I don't feel like it. I'm tired or I'm just in a bad mood. And believe me, I don't love everyone I work with, and chances are you won't either. Let's face it, we don't get along with everyone we meet. But I'm polite and show respect to everyone I work with. from the supervisors to the other mechanics. It's part of being a member of a team. And so is being dependable. That's an important part of being a team player. You've got to show up on time, give them a good day's work, make sure the work you do is done right, and be willing to pitch in. You know, be a dependable coworker. That's what makes you a really valuable employee, someone people can count on.
In most jobs, you're part of a team, just like Clay. One of the keys to job success is being a good team player. That means pitching in and doing whatever job needs doing, even if it isn't part of your regular job description. Real team players recognize that the work they do affects the work of others on the team. If you don't show up, your teammates, your co-workers, have to pick up the slack. If you do shoddy work, others on the team have to fix it. A team member does what's best for the team. And finally, a team player is friendly and shows respect to the other members of the team. You don't yell when a team member makes a mistake. You pitch in to help for the good of the team. Employers expect you to be a dependable team player on the job. It's an important key to job success. Another key is the ability to follow directions. Listen to Matt's story.
My name is Matt, and I'm learning to be a graphic artist. I've worked at a small advertising agency for a little over a year after spending 18 months right out of high school learning all about computers and design software. It's the perfect job for me, and believe me, I'm learning a lot. Jim is the owner of the agency. When he interviewed me, he said he liked to hire people right out of school so he could train them to do things his way. I've learned a lot since I started working here. For one thing, I've learned just how important it is to understand and follow directions. I learned that lesson the hard way. I'd only been here a few weeks when Jim asked me to make a bunch of changes to this poster I've been working on.
Good morning, can I help you?
There were a lot of little changes that we went over, and Jim gave me a lot of directions that I thought I could remember. I didn't write them down because, well, like I said, I thought I'd remember everything. Can you see where this is going? I spent a whole afternoon working on that poster, making things worse than before. When Jim saw what I'd done, he wasn't too happy because I didn't follow his directions. It was a complete disaster. I wasted a whole afternoon on that poster, which made us late. Jim and I, along with everybody else at the agency, had to work late that day to make up for the time that I'd lost. I felt terrible. I thought I was going to get fired. But Jim talked to me and explained the importance of following directions to the letter. It was an important lesson for me. Ever since then, when Jim gives me an assignment or calls for changes, I write them down and go over the directions line by line. I listen carefully, and when I'm not sure about something, I ask questions. That's an important tip right there. You have to understand directions in order to follow them. So never be afraid to ask questions. It saves a lot of time down the line. Sometimes when the directions are really complicated, I even read them out loud as Jim and I talk. It helps us both. And listen, let me tell you something else about following directions. If you're doing a job, following directions, and all of a sudden you come to something you're not sure of, whoa, stop. Stop what you're doing. Find your supervisor and ask questions. It's simple. If you aren't sure about something, ask. Believe me, no one will think you're stupid. Just careful.